Boom, boom, skinner everybody, welcome back to the channel. Alright, we got a little bit of Bleach Immortal Soul up today. So we've got a Soul Box event open. So always nice when they can throw one of those our way. Throw us a little bone, possibly help out the main team, although in my case neither of these characters are something that I'm looking for. However, as always, both of these characters are pretty good characters. We've got Aizen, and we've got Katen Kyokotsu. So both good characters. She was just actually released not too long ago. He's second gen. So and always as a soul box, you can get the weapon for both, as well as a bunch of more shards. Neither of these are in my team. Neither of these are in my backup team. Neither of these are in my extreme teams either. So I'm not going to do any pulls on this particular event. I'll be just going to save them up so that I can go big on possibly an event for either one of my team characters for the main team, one of the backups, or one of the extreme teams. And neither of these meet that criteria. I've only got them both at 2 stars, I believe. Yeah, right here. No, not right there. Not right here. Yeah, Aizen and Kyokotsu. So no, these they're not bad characters. Aizen is an actual additional damage from shielding. He has pretty good survivability because he is a tank. Kyokotsu, she's more support oriented. So either would be a good investment. They're both yours. So if you have multiple shards of them already, and you can bring them up. But for me, it wouldn't be really useless because these, there's no way, in the current state of the game, there's just no way to bring up a character from scratch like this, and to make it effective anytime soon. They just don't give you the mats to do that. So we'll have to stick with that, and not do that particular thing. But again, both good characters. So if either of these characters are in your team, or if you're planning on using them, you definitely want to do on this because you get the weapon. Okay, and in the end, that's all that really matters is getting their weapon because that's the first awaken, and that's the one that takes them that's your apex. After you get to 6 stars, going to that 7 star is just a forever move. So one of the ways that you can increase the strength is to just awaken the character, awaken the weapon. First awaken, you just need a copy. You just need the one weapon. The second, it requires 2 copies, and so forth and so on. But that's the easiest way to do it. So getting the weapon is really easy because there's really no other way to get them. The UR weapon box shards are virtually non-existent unless you pay. You can get them if you want to pay for them, but they are out of reach from a free-to-play perspective. The only way to get from a free-to-play perspective, the only way to really get a weapon for your character is through a soul box event. So it's always good, even if you're not, even if it's a character that you're not going to be able to get too many shards for it, but it's still a weapon, and you need, the first time, like I say, you need the weapon, but then the second time you need 2 copies. So it gets a little bit more difficult. So, but that's what I'm doing. I'm stockpiling copies of the weapons for my team. As you can see, I've got a copy of the Sassy's one. I need 2. This is Stark's. I need 1 more. And this is some Baki. I'm just using that. That's for Soy Fun, but I need 1 more as well. As well as I've got a bunch of shards that I'm stockpiling up as well for characters. This is actually Aizen shard. I got this from today. We're actually doing the event. But yeah, so and I'm just keeping on to the shards, for everybody, and as they're created. I got Waiting to Go's 25 more. I'll be able to get copies for him. So that's what you do. It's really difficult to get those things. I mean, you can get them inside the mini events, but they're like 200 tokens, gold tokens, and most you can get is 140 from a free-to-play perspective. So you need to get 60 more, and the only way to get that is to purchase the tokens from the shop. So it's an intentional monetization scheme. So not something I'm really happy about, and that's what makes this game on its last legs, unfortunately. We're not seeing anything new. This is the same format that they've been running over for the last things. I get in here, I do my dailies in the morning. It takes me about 35 minutes or so, and then in the evening I'll hit it just to use up the stamina and work on my characters that I'm bringing up. Like right now, I'm working on Shinji. He's in my extreme team. All of these characters are in the extreme teams and my main team. So I've got them maxed out as far as they can go. To Prison Blizzard Blue as far as we can go until they release a new story mode chapter, which we have no idea when that's going to be. So, so we're just plugging along here. Um, uh, getting as many as we can. Yep, see that's all the shards, and this is all I do. I mean, there's no use spending any more time on the game. I've already cleared the treasure trial. I already got the chest. So there's really nothing else for me to do. See, I opened up the chest. I cleared most of these that I was able to. I was able to get quite a few of them. But there was some that you couldn't quite do it. It's a very high level event. And you need to be pretty high level to handle it. Rankings. I'm currently sitting at 11. Moving up. I'll be cracking the 10 here. Not probably sometime. Probably sometime in the next few months. I've been stockpiling my gold back up so I can start racing up my characters. One of the ways that you can raise up your characters is just upgrade them. Not actually in terms of weapons, but enhancing them in terms of their level. So what I've been doing is I've been bringing up all these low-level characters. I brought them all. I'm bringing them all up to 60. Okay, and bringing their skills up to 60 as well. And that gives you a tremendous boost in your power. So that's what I've been doing, and that's been raising my level. As such, I've been able to move up quite a bit. So that's what I've been doing in terms of that. And that keeps bringing it up. But yeah, so the characters, these two characters, they're very good characters. Aizen, excellent text. Katen Kyokotsu, she's an excellent in terms of support for what they supply. But since they're not really characters that I'm going to be using, not something that I'm going to waste my soul jade on. I would just keep my soul jade for myself. I did one free pull this morning, and I snatched up. I got the actual weapon shards for free in the first pull. It was just one pull. Yeah. Other than that, not too much going on. Treasure trial event's going to be open for another 7 days. I'm sorry, not 7 days, 7 hours. Okay, this will be ending. So tomorrow we'll probably have another event. As always, we'll have a follow-up event at the end of the Soulbox event, which is going to be running for 3 days. We'll have the event, and you'll be able to get. So if you come up a little bit short on the weapon shards or whatnot, they'll be inside of the event. It'll probably be. It's difficult to say what it'll be at this point. But it'll be a free event where you can get where there'll be a shop that you can purchase some more of the shards if you come up a little bit short. I could do it right now, and I would easily get the weapon, but I'm not going to waste the soul jade. I'm saving it up for something that's. What I'm going to try to do is save up multiple jades so that when a soul box event hits for one of my main characters in my team, I'll be able to throw quite a bit at it, enough that I can actually make a dent and go into 7 stars. Okay, that's what I'm focusing for. It's the only thing I can do at this point. They said they were going to increase the rate for the soul boxes, but they really haven't. Although this far this year, it's probably had a little bit more than they did last year. But still, there's just so many characters that it's just that there's just so many UR characters that the chances that you're going to get one is just ridiculous. They need to open up the soul box event. They need to have a soul box event, and you should be able to get the weapon and the character, but you should also be able to evolve, take the shards that you get and change them to Omni shards. Okay, the character shards, make them Omni shards, or just make Omni shards one of the choice inside the chest so that you can get Omni shards. and then do the same thing with the weapon shards. If you don't want the weapon, they should have some type of shard, a universal shard that could be used for your weapons, and that should be in the box with them as well. It's very simple. It would not break the game, and it would allow people to who maybe been in the last 3 or 4 soul boxes haven't done anything simply because of the fact that none of the characters are useful to them. Okay, a character does not get useful until you get up to 5 or 6 stars. Okay, I mean you can start using the rage at 4, but still it's just not that's just not making the character at all powerful. It's still got a damage increase and a damage reduction rate skills that it needs to survive. So a 4-star character is not really going to survive in story mode 27. Okay, we might sometime in the future get 28, but I haven't heard anything about it yet. And it's been far too long. It's been months, and the story's just completely dead, and they're not even halfway through the story. So I don't know what they're doing with the game. I know for a fact that there's not a lot of people. I think they only got like 1 or 2 people working on the game, which is endemic to the fact that that the game might be dying, which is unfortunate. But yeah, they're just focusing on releasing new characters that that you don't have time or materials to level up, unfortunately. But so I'm just gonna hold on to my Soul Jade, wait until a Soul Box event comes up that's useful to me in terms of the characters that I'm focusing on, and then I'll pull on it. And this is not one of them, so I won't be. But like I say, if you have either of these characters, or you're thinking about putting them in your team, they're very good characters in terms of that. So you can't go wrong with either of these characters at this point. They're both 2nd gen and then 3rd gen, which means unfortunately the game's also a little bit analyzed with power creep. So they're actually going to be stronger than some of the 1st generation characters. Okay, I had to actually, my team is comprised mainly of 2nd gen characters. The only real 1st gen that, a truly 1st gen character that's in here is actually White Ichigo. Okay, Sassy was interesting pretty quick, but Sassy was actually 2nd gen. Stark is 2nd gen. Dangai Ichigo was one of the first. Tan Sensei was the first 2nd gen. He's second gen. And he's 2nd gen, and this is the version 2 of Okura. There was another UR of Okura that was entered, but that was a little bit before that. If that was 1st gen, this is his 2nd gen version. Stark, you might actually consider Stark to be almost 3rd gen. I think he might be considered one of the first characters in 3rd gen to be released as well. So, as you can see, but White Ichigo does a ton of damage always. So, so I have seen no reason to bring him out of the team. And he still has a lot of place on some of the higher teams because he does straight damage with his rage, and high crit rate as well too. So yeah, so I utilize him, but yeah, like Yamamoto was 1st gen, Iwaku was 1st gen, Shinji 1st gen. These 2 are actually event characters, so they're not technically considered regular characters. Kenpachi was 1st gen. He's actually the free character to get. Nimu's an event character, and Muramasa is 3rd generation. He was just entered a couple of months ago. I got him specifically because I like the fact that he goes straight to the back. So possibly a work that we might want to consider with him. I'm just short, a few shards short of getting his weapon. He came at a bad time. And I didn't really quite have enough Soul Jade, but I still wanted to go ahead and get him just because of his backline attack. I mean, I'm using him in my extreme team though, so he's made my extreme team a little bit better. They managed to start advancing once I put him in the group, so it paid off in that regard. So it turned out to be a good call. But yeah, so none of those good characters as always, but not for my team, so I won't be doing any pulls on them. All right, so go ahead and get in there, knock it out in 3 days. Focus on a treasure trial. It's going to be closing today, so if you want to clear anything out, do it today. The rewards are great. That you get a lot of choices and a lot of shards, as well as the ability to actually make an SSR weapon. You have more than enough shards to do that inside of there. So you want to build up a base character, an SSR character, Lisa, Soifan, Unohana, Ichigo. You can get their weapon from this event because they'll give you, I think it's 65 shards, 65 shards, and you need 50 to actually create the weapon. So it's definitely something that you want to do because I use it a lot of time, and I maxed out base Ichigo's weapon enhancement, awakening, so he's fully maxed out. So now I'm starting to focus on, I'll probably end up focusing on Soifan, and then I'll take her, and then after her do Lisa. And simply because their characters are still in my stream team, so I power them up. Yeah, is the logical answer, so that I can utilize them, and you can get their weapons a lot easier. All of those, especially Soifan's, Suzumaki, and Lisa's Comparator are available inside of the Gacha shop. I just got Lisa's inside of the Gacha shop a few days ago. So if you go into the summons, go into Gacha, right here in the gear exchange, these are weapon for SSR. There are SSR weapons inside of here. I pulled Lisa's out of here just a little while ago, and you'll see there's Suzumaki for Soifan. So you will most likely have one or two characters. If you're just starting out, you may have a bunch of SSR characters in your extreme team, but as you go through, you'll be replacing those SSR with your UR characters in your extreme teams. So, but until then, even after that occurs, I've been playing since inception, and I still have a couple of teams where I'm still using the SSR characters. Right here's Lisa's right here, Haruga Tombo. So, yeah, so this is an easy way to make those characters stronger. Because you get the shards more often. I mean, Soifan's at 7 shards, Lisa is at 6 shards, going on to 7. So you can make them a little bit powerful. I consider it, mostly from my perspective, Soifan, Lisa, and Unohana are probably the 3 best SSR version characters that you can look at in terms of useful. Okay, I mean, there's several SSR characters that are useful, but I mean, Torch, as you start to get late, you start to get, towards end game, all of those, most of those begin to fall. But Soifan can still progress. Lisa can still do a ton of damage, and she goes straight to the back line, just like Muramasa. And Unohana is the best SSR healer in the game, second only to Christmas or Hime, who's a UR version event character, who is the best healer in the game. The Christmas Nail that they just came out with is not bad as well, too. But for an SSR, Unohana is your best bet. Unfortunately, you will not see Unohana's, nor will you see base Ichigo's weapon inside of here. They are not showed inside of this shop. Okay, the only way to get them is through the chests in this event right here. The chest that you get in this event has all the weapons in them, and it has the weapons that you want to get. So it's got, see, there's Lisa, but we already know that. But it's also got, towards the end, it's got, right there she is right there, Minazuki shards, and Ichigo Zanpakuto shards. These shards these shards have never been put inside of the gear shop, Gacha gear shop. Never been in there. Okay, I don't know about any of these others, but I know these have never been put in there because I've looked for them. So this is a chance, and these are 2 of the best ones. I've already maxed out Ichigo's awakening weapon. He's maxed out, and I'm working on doing Minazuki, and I'm working on Suzumaki for Soifan, and we're trying to go for Lisa, right there. Tombo. So I'm working on those. Those are the 4 that I'm working on in terms of SSR characters. So as soon as I've maxed all 4 of them out, takes a little while. I mean, I think it's like 4. You have to get it 4 times. That's the final awakening is 4. So you need 4 copies of the weapon. So you need one copy, two copies, four copies. So you need a bunch of copies of the weapon to max it out, and then you can go from there in terms of what you know. So it takes a little while, but those shards that that come out, as you can see, I've got it gold. I don't know if they're going to open it up, but it's fully awakened right here. So I'm not sure if I'm not sure if they're going to raise it anytime, but as far as I know, they're not going to be raising it anytime soon. But it's fully awoken. So, and that's what I'm going to do with all the weapons for those four. I'm going to fully awaken her. So she's just starting on. She got recently. She's inside of my extreme team, but she's also in the same extreme team that also in that extreme team is Orihime, Christmas Orihime, who's the best healer in the game. So right here, so I really didn't see the need. I already had two healers in that particular team. I did not see the need to focus on her immediately. So I decided to go ahead and start focusing on Susan Baki and focusing on Lisa. So Lisa's already been awakened the second time. I'm going for her third awakening, which is 4. So once I get 4 copies, she'll be fully awoken. Okay? So it's 4, 2, and 1. So I guess it's technically 7 copies of the weapon to fully awaken SSR characters. I'm not sure on UR because I've never actually fully awoken a UR weapon on a character as of yet. I'm working on it. I've got a couple that are at double awakening, but I haven't actually. I don't know if they're going to go anything past that. But for 7 for an SSR. So that's what I'm going to do. So I've got her double awakened. Soifan, I'm going to get one more copy for her to double awaken her. Okay, and then I'm going to work on these two because I really don't need to see the focus on Minazuki at this time since I've already got another healer in that team who's more than slack. So I'm not having any trouble with that particular extreme team. It's actually turning out to be a damage issue because I've got so much healing. Anytime you have a healer in there, your damage is lacking, but it hasn't become an issue as of yet. I'm up in the 200s, but it will probably become an issue shortly. But at this point in time, I don't feel the need to focus on her. I've got enough healing. The War Soul of Healing does all my healing for me, so I no longer need a healer in my team, direct healer in the team. The War Soul of Healing take care of it all of it for me. So, but anyway, so yeah, I'm just working on Lisa and Sui Fawn right now, getting them maxed out with their weapon and getting them maxed out in their shards, and then we'll go from there. But yeah, so that's what I'm doing, and it gives me something to occupy my time until if they ever do decide to continue with the game. I mean, we've got the 1,000-Year Blood War anime coming out here. I don't know what their plan is. I don't know. Did they stop in the story, and maybe they're just going to create an entire side story or something that's focused. They haven't advanced any of this either. It's locked, so I don't know if they're going to just waiting for the 1,000-Year Blood War to come out, and then they're just going to start a story with that. I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know. It's on a holding pattern for some reason, so it's hard to get exact data as to what's going on. And most of the beginning players, newer players that have left the game. They only come back when there's an event. But we don't know what they're going to do at this point. So we're just waiting to see. But we're in a holding pattern. I'm just hoping that the game doesn't drop below what would be considered the point where it's just no longer relevant or for them to keep the game open on the English side. I'm sure it's probably got plenty of usage on the Japanese server, but I don't know if the English server how much. I don't know what it's going on. Don't get me wrong. There hasn't been any talk that I've heard of about the game closing down. I think they're just waiting for the 1,000-Year Blood War, and then maybe they're going to do something associated with that. Okay, they've still got a bunch of characters open inside of the team. If you go into the archives, you'll see that there are several characters that they have not released yet. So it looks like they intend to continue releasing characters. As you can see, they've got quite a few. Okay, so I don't know what they plan to do with that. I guess they're probably going to continue releasing the Zanpakutus, even though we're not to the story. I think that's ridiculous. They're releasing characters that you have not got the story on yet. I mean, they're not even to the Zanpakutu Rebellion yet. They're still stuck. They're still stuck on the. They're still stuck on the second. I think it's the second arc. I think is it. Um, where they're Ichigo's down there fighting Iroquois, where they're still stuck on that. So yeah, I don't know. Um, you know, the Iran car arc. So I don't know what they're going to do at this point. But anyway, there is a Soulbox event up. If you're going to use these characters, or you have already got, they're definitely something to invest in because they're really good characters. So go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Once you subscribe, click on the bell. You'll be notified each time I drop a video. Also, remember to like and share the video, as it does help the channel immensely. Ken coming at you from the corner, signing out.